Hi, I'm Connor from Roundtable Audio, and today I'm going to show you my method on how to clean your guitar pickups. This will remove any grime, tarnishing, rust, and give your pickups a clean, shiny finish. Pickups are an essential part of your electric guitar, so it's important to keep them in a good working condition. Dirt, sweat, and grime can build up on the pickups over time, which makes them look dirty, and can create rust and corrosion on the magnets, which will affect how they work. Pickups broadly follow one of two designs: pickups with exposed pole pieces like this, and pickups that have a cover like this. I've put timestamps in the description below depending on which one you have. So starting with pickups with exposed pole pieces, this is everything that you're going to need. I've linked everything that I use in the description down below, so if you're missing something then you can pick it up there. So starting with the guitar polish, you're going to want to make sure that it's silicone and wax free. This will make sure that you don't have any build-up on your pickups after you clean them. Next, you're going to want a new set of guitar strings. So I recommend when cleaning your pickups, taking off your guitar strings. It makes it a lot easier, it saves you a lot of time. And older guitar strings can have dirt and grime built up on them that can transfer back onto your pickups after you've cleaned them. So if you've not changed your strings in a while, I recommend doing that. If you have changed your strings recently, like I have, and don't want to get a new set, then you can move them to the side by loosening them and then holding them in place with a little bit of masking tape, but it is a bit of a pain. So using this masking tape as well, we're going to be using that for blocking off bits of the pickup as we clean them to keep them safe. We're also going to be using these Q-tips or earbuds, depending on where you're from, just to apply bits of the cleaner and put them in places when we don't want to use a lot of cleaner. We're going to be using a flathead screwdriver. This is going to be used for scraping off little bits of rust and tarnish on the top. We're going to be using a lint-free microfiber cloth, and it has to be lint-free or else you're going to get a little piece of lint stuck to your pickups that can get into the inner workings. You're going to want a can of compressed air. This is just for blasting out any dust from hard to reach places. And then lastly, you just want some silver polish, and this will polish up your magnets and make them shiny after we finish cleaning them. The first step is to remove your guitar strings. So this will give you better access to the pickup and make cleaning it a lot easier. Cleaning around the strings when they're in place can be really difficult, as you can kind of see here. You have to get in between them, and you're likely to miss bits of the dirt and grime. Not only that, but old strings have built up dirt on them, which can transfer back onto your pickups after you've cleaned them, so it makes sense to change them now. If you've just changed your strings, you can loosen them and move them to the side with a piece of masking tape like I have. However, I promise you it's a lot easier just to take the strings off, because over the course of cleaning them, these will come loose and they'll ping back into place. So if you can, take your strings off. So now that your strings are out of the way, the next step is to use a dry, lint-free microfiber cloth to clean off the surface dust and dirt from the top of the pickup. It has to be lint-free, otherwise you're just going to get a little piece of lint sticking to your pickup. The more dirt that you can remove in this step, the easier that will be later on. I've written a full guide on this with pictures on my website, which is linked in the description below. The next step is to clean the sides of the pickup, these bits that sit just above the pick guard. Again, all we're doing is taking the microfiber cloth and just removing the surface level of dust. It doesn't matter if there's any grime stuck there afterwards. Most pickups have a pickup cover like this that protects the inner coil. So the copper coil is very delicate, so I recommend if yours is exposed, then using a very, very gentle wipe just to remove that surface dust. Alternatively, and this is what I recommend, is just using a bit of compressed air and just giving it a quick blast to remove any. And you can do that with this pickup as well, just blasting out the insides to remove any dust. So the next step is to remove any dirt that wasn't removed with the initial wiping, and you can see some down the side here. You're going to want to use a guitar polish to take this off. I use D'Addario's guitar polish, which is linked in the description down below, but you can use any polish that doesn't contain petroleum, wax or silicone. For this reason, I wouldn't recommend using any cleaning products meant for your home, as these generally contain wax, which will cause a build-up on your guitar's pickup. To remove the dirt, apply a very small amount of polish to your microfiber cloth, and then just rub it onto the dirt, and then it will come straight off. Like so. So for this next section, I'll just show you some differences between a tarnished pickup magnet and a clean pickup magnet that I've cleaned. So this is an example of tarnishing, and this is what we're going to be removing with our flathead screwdriver in a second. So for this next section where we're going to be removing the tarnishing, you're going to want to put down some more masking tape just to protect these little crevices next to the pickup magnet to stop anything from going in there. So this is the most tarnished magnet on my pickups at the moment, so it's probably the best example to show. So to protect it, I put 4 pieces of masking tape across around it, and then another 4 pieces diagonally across. And this just properly protects that little gap to stop anything from going in. Now that everything's protected, you're just going to want to take the tip of your flathead screwdriver and just begin scraping off the tarnish. You don't have to press hard. In fact, I recommend not pressing hard at all. Just a little amount of pressure will scrape that tarnish straight off. You can see that's starting to come off now. I've seen it recommended online to use steel wool for cleaning your pickups. However, don't do this. It's not the tool for this job. It will just produce small particles of steel that will stick onto the top of your magnets, and they'll be really annoying to get off. And they can work their way inside the pickup and damage your pickup, so don't do that. So just clean your magnet until the top of it is just a uniform colour. So as you can see now, if I just give it a wave, that tarnishing is removed off the top of that magnet, giving it a nice shiny look. And you can see these other magnets here, they've got a bit of tarnishing around the outside, and what I believe this silver bit is a film coating on the pickups, on top of the pickup magnet. When you scrape your pickup, both of these will come off, and as you can see, it leaves a nice shiny finish that we're going to get even shinier in a minute with our silver polish. So once you've taken the rust and tarnish off of all your pickups, you just want to get your microfiber cloth again and just give it a quick wipe down to remove any of the residue from the tape or any dust that you've kicked up from cleaning your pickups. So the last step for this is to polish our pickups. Now we're going to use a little bit of the guitar polish again, and we're just going to put it all over the pickup, just spreading it, not wiping it off, but just making sure that there's a nice layer across all of the pickup. And as you can see, if you've taken your guitar strings off, it's a lot easier. So all you're going to do is just wait a minute or two, and this polish on here will start to dry, and you'll see it starts to become less transparent. It kind of gets a bit of a hazy look to it. Once it does that, all you're going to do is just polish it off using small circular motions, and this will give these bits on your pickup a really nice finish. And then once you've done that and you've taken all the polish off, we're going to look at the magnetic pole pieces. So the final step is cleaning the pole piece. And all you're going to want to do for this is you're going to want to take a bit of your silver polish and pop it on the top of that Q-tip. And you're just going to dab the magnet. There we go, just making sure that all of the polish stays on the top. Now again, if you want to, you can do this step while your masking tape's still on, but I like to do it afterwards. I like for it to be the last thing that I do. And just like the polish before, we're just going to wait for this to start to haze over and start to dry a little bit, and then polish it out. So once it has started to dry, just take your microfiber cloth again, find a clean piece, and just buff it out. Again, small circular motions just to work it into the material. And what this will do is it will give the magnet a nice polished finish. As you can see, this pickup magnet right here is nice and clean and shiny, and you can see compared next to the magnet, it was like that before, and instead now it's nice and shiny. And the pickup itself is nice and clean, and you can see similar to this one, it was quite similar before, quite dirty. So what I'm going to do now is just finish up cleaning this guitar and getting all the pickups nice and clean. So this is all the equipment that I would use for cleaning a pickup with a cover. And I've linked everything in the description down below, so if you're missing something, go down there and pick it up. Starting with a guitar polish. Again, this has to be wax and silicone free. It's going to give you a nice clear polish that will help that shine. You're also going to want a new set of guitar strings. So for this guitar, the strings are old, so I'm going to be taking them off. It will give me better access to the pickup to clean it easier, and also older strings can transfer dirt back onto the pickup. If you've just changed strings or just don't want to take them off, then you can use a little bit of masking tape just to hold the strings out of the way. So just loosen them and then hold them out of the way. You're going to want a lint-free microfiber cloth. It has to be lint-free, or else you're going to get a little bit of lint stuck all on your nice shiny pickup and it will just look bad. You're going to want to use some Q-tips. This is just for controlling the amount of white vinegar that we're going to be putting on the pickup. You don't want a lot, so just having a little dab and working it on will be a lot easier. And lastly, you're going to want some malt vinegar, also known as white vinegar. This is just to break down any rust if you have it on your pickup. So the first step for this is to remove the strings, and this will give you better access to your pickup. As I said, not only that, but older strings have dirt on them which can transfer dirt back onto your clean pickup, so it makes sense to change them now. I've written a full guide on this with pictures on my website, which is linked in the description below if you want to go visit that page. So now that the strings are removed, you just want to give your exposed pickup just a little brush down with your microfiber cloth just to remove the surface dirt. Next, you're going to want to take a very small amount of polish and just apply it to the surface. There we go, just covering all that metal. And once it's on, just take another clean bit of your cloth and just polish it straight off. And you can see that's coming up really nice and shiny. There we go. So if you've got any rust on your pickup cover, which this one doesn't, but you can use a very small amount of white vinegar on a Q-tip, and you just simply apply it to the rusted patch and wait about half an hour, 30 minutes for the acid to start working on the rust and then wiping it off with a clean cloth. For more stubborn rust, so if the whole pickup was covered in rust, for example, you can actually remove the pickup cover and soak it in a vinegar solution overnight, or just buy a new pickup cover and replace it. It's worth noting that a lot of pickup covers are soldered on underneath, so if you're not comfortable with soldering or anything like that, take it to a proper luthier and just have a look and get that sorted for you. So now that the surface level dust and grime is removed, just remove any residue if you've done the vinegar soak, just to get your pickup nice and clean. The final step for cleaning this type of pickup is, again, just to get a little bit of guitar polish and just work it all over. And yeah, you just want to make sure that it gets all across the pickup surface. And then all you're going to do is just wait a couple of minutes and this will start to dry and become quite hazy. So it's been a couple of minutes. You can see that this has started to dry and become a bit filmy. And all you're going to want to do is just polish it off with small circular motions. And this will give your pickup a really nice mirror finish. Protect it from any dust or grime going forward. There we go. So once all of that is removed, you're left with a really nice, shiny pickup cover. And then all you have to do is pop your strings on and you're ready to go.